Hi everyone, it's Nishti here, Specialist Dietitian for Children and Parents. A question I get asked a lot from parents whose children have an allergy to cow's milk is all these non-dairy milks on the market. Which one is best? Which one should I choose from? So in this video, you are going to learn the 5 things you need to pay attention to when you buy a non-dairy milk for your child. Because from the age of 1, you can actually start to give them non-dairy milk if they haven't outgrown their allergy to cow's milk. You can give them as a sole drink, but actually from the age of 6 months, you can start to put it into their meals, or you can use their formula, or of course you can use breast milk as well. So let's dive into the number 1 thing you need to pay attention to when you buy a non-dairy milk for your child. So first of all, we need to make sure that it is fortified. Does it have calcium? Does it have iodine? Does it have vitamin D, B12 and B2? If you're buying organic non-dairy milk, unfortunately, these do not contain all these vitamins and minerals. And because children are still very much reliant on milk, from the age of 1 up to the age of 2, 3, it's very important to make sure that the milk is fortified. Iodine is not really something that we tend to talk a lot about. So let me just quickly talk about what that means. Iodine is a mineral that actually comes from the sea. And the best source of iodine is fish, white fish. Now, in the UK, we get most of our iodine from dairy products, but that's because the cow is being fed a multivitamin, if you like. So when children don't have dairy in their diet, they are very, very at high risk of iodine deficiency. So therefore, always make sure, and a lot of companies are now becoming much better at this, make sure it is fortified, not just with calcium, because a lot of parents know the crucial role of calcium, but there's so many other nutrients we need to pay attention to, and the other one is iodine, vitamin D, B12 and B2. Number 2, how much energy is in this milk? A lot of these milks out there are very low calorie. Now, I personally, as a dietitian, if a parent has already started, for example, almond milk, and it's unsweetened and the child is growing well, then I'm not going to worry too much, because almond milk, though it's very low in calories, if a child is already on it and they're growing fine, I'm not going to cause a big fuss about it. But I wouldn't advise a parent to go on to almond milk because it's very low calorie. We want it to be about 40 to 45 calories per 100 ml. So when you're looking at the label, and I will put a few examples in for you so you can have a look at which milks I would advise you to buy, and I will do that towards the end of the video. Make sure that it has got enough calories, especially if your child is struggling with their growth. Another thing to pay attention to is the protein content. You see, a lot of these milks can be very, very low in protein. Again, if a child is already on a milk and is low in protein and they're doing well and they're growing fine, I'm not going to cause a big fuss about it, but it's always good to pay attention to the protein. We want it to be at least 1.5 to 2 gram, 2 to 3 even gram of protein per 100 ml. And I will be listing some examples. Children are growing so quickly. There's exponential growth in the early years of life, and protein helps with a healthy development. So make sure that it has got enough protein. Number 4, does it have sugar in? Is it no added sugar? Please buy the no added sugar versions, because we don't need our children to be exposed to all this sugar so early in life. It has not just consequences for the immediate health of a child, but also long term. So when you can, or if you haven't done already, try and look for the low sugar versions or no added sugar milks. There are so many out there that taste so good, but that's because they have added sugar to it. Number 5. Now, soya milk ticks all these boxes. Usually it's fortified, it has got enough protein, it has got enough calories, but just be mindful that children with calcium and protein allergy, most of them, up to 60%, will also react to soya. So if you change your child over to a soya milk, I'm not saying don't do it, I'm saying try, but just be mindful that a lot of children can react. And what sort of reactions can we see? We can see usually the same things that we see in children with calcium protein allergy. So loose stools, constipation, perhaps flare up in their eczema. So when you're buying a non-dairy milk, and if you're buying soya, please go ahead, but do keep an eye on your child, because if symptoms reappear or get worse, if your child has eczema and this eczema flares up, it most likely could be the soya. So those were the 5 things to watch out for when you're buying a non-dairy milk for your allergy baby or child. If you have any questions, please comment below. And if you find this video useful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone that needs to hear this. Now, let me show you the milks, non-dairy milks, that tick all these boxes that I've mentioned and that I would recommend. These are my choices.